Well, hello. My name's Adrian Gilbert, and today I'm going to be talking about something really quite different from usual. Uh, I want to share with you a dream I had the night before last, and why I think it might be important in relation to what's happening in the world today, and how we should perhaps react towards this. Um, Now, the dream was quite simple. I had lots of other dreams that I don't remember, but this one was quite clear as I was waking up. And I saw that there was a lot of water. It was a coastal area, and it was sort of so much rain that it was flooding. And the water that had come down had flushed out a lot of crocodiles and alligators and swimming around in the sea and looking really quite angry and dangerous. And there were also other ones on the land, no longer able to hide because the water level had risen and it was they were being flushed out. It's a dangerous time. And with my wife, and there were some silver birch trees, not very strong looking, but we've got some in our garden. They were like those. So I said, oh, well, we must climb the trees. I know they don't look very strong, but at least there'll be something. Otherwise, these alligators and crocodiles are going to attack us. So we managed to climb the trees, at least I think we did. And suddenly we were back at home. Everything was okay. We were safe. Now, another peculiarity of this dream is I wasn't really sure of the location. On the one hand, it seemed to be America, the American East Coast. On another, it seemed to be Australia, perhaps Queensland coast, and they have crocodiles. But it was also here in England, and not even on the coast, but inland in the town where I grew up. So what was this all about? What was this dream talking about? And I think it has to do with this whole question of draining the swamp. Trump's been talking about that, hasn't he, over and over, other people too, about needing to drain the swamp, the military industrial complex and all of that kind of thing you hear about. And then, of course, we have all the tension over the American election. I know Joe Biden has been elected now by the Congress under circumstances that were less than ideal, and there has been the invasion of the Capitol building. And then there's still the big question, was it really a legitimate win? And of course his supporters say, of course it was. He won fair and square. All this talk about ballot rigging and so on is nonsense. But I want to just put this to you. Trump got more votes this time than he did in 2016. And he got more votes than Obama and Clinton did in their second terms. Meanwhile, Joe Biden had been hiding in his basement right through the campaign, except for a few outings when he spoke to very few people. He supposedly got more votes than that. So he must be more popular than Clinton and Obama. But it's more than that, isn't it? I mean, Trump had a landslide increase of his votes. And we now have to assume that Biden had a landslide as well. So where do you get two landslides from? You don't, do you? If one goes up significantly, the other's going to go down because there's only X number of voters. So that extra has to come from somewhere. And I don't think it takes a genius to say it comes from ballot rigging. But that's not really what I want to talk about here. There's a lot of internet talk and discussion and briefings. People claim to have inside information and so on. That America is coming under martial law in the next day or two. May have done already by now, by the time you see this. Now, if that's true, there's going to be a lockdown, even more than the COVID one, you can be sure of that. And it's not just to do with the election, right? It's not just because Trump is a sore loser. it has a lot more to do with all the investigations into paedophilia and child trafficking and the Epstein affair and the deep corruption at many levels in society. And it's not just in America, it's here too, in Britain, I'm sorry to say. I mean, for example, our own Prince Andrew has been drawn into this whole Epstein saga. Pictures of Ghislaine Maxwell with Epstein and Andrew in Buckingham Palace sitting on the throne. I mean, this is outrageous. So we're not clear by any means. There's bad guys here too. And maybe in Australia as well. I don't know much about Australia. I know they have very volatile politics there. But maybe that's also going to be involved in this. All these Anglo-Saxon countries, the net is being pulled and the crocodiles and alligators flushed out. So the reason I wanted to put this down and share this dream with you is that I think it's wise for us to take this seriously, what's going on. I mean, it might not be, maybe none of this is going to happen. Maybe Biden's just going to be sworn in on the 21st, he'll become the next president. Everything that's, all the dodgy stuff about Hillary Clinton and Russia uranium and all the dodgy stuff about Biden and his son in Ukraine and China and all the Epstein scandal and all that all gets swept away, lost, disappeared. Nothing to see there, folks. Let's just get on with it. First, business of the day, we're going to undo everything that Trump did. That might be what's going to happen. I don't know. But I think we need to be wise and prepare for alternatives. And I think part of that means you should make sure you have enough food in your house to feed yourself and your family for 2 weeks. 2 weeks at least. Because this could be quite a volatile time. And I'm not just talking about the United States. I'm talking about Britain and other countries as well, because there's going to be knock-on effects from all of this. And it's maybe why there have been reports in the papers today about Boris Johnson thinking that maybe the lockdown, we're in lockdown now, but maybe people should not be allowed to go out every day. At the moment, you're supposed to be able to go out, shopping or exercise, whatever, every day. He's talking about, well, maybe it should only be once every couple of weeks. Think about that. I mean, maybe the shops will be closed. Maybe, you're not allowed out. Maybe it's because there will be martial law here as well as in America. I don't know. I'm just saying this, that we need to be on our guard and be like the Boy Scouts, be prepared. I was never really interested in Scouts. I was a wolf cub, yeah, dib, dib, dib. And the whole idea, yes, be prepared. Make sure you have at least some pasta or something to eat in your larder. Have some spare water bottles in case something happens, the water gets cut off. If you can, if you've got a fireplace, have a bit of fuel for it, a few logs or some coke or something, just in case the electricity gets switched off. And if electricity goes off, we've got central heating here, oil-fired, but without electricity, it goes down. So you need to have some other means of heating, at least one room, and some means of being able to cook your food, and some water in case that gets cut off. I mean, I don't think, these are worst case scenarios. I'm not saying that, oh my God, it's the end of the world. I'm just saying that we need to be prepared. There might be some difficulty over the next couple of weeks. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe all these internet blog sites and the rest that talk about martial law are the usual suspects looking for clickbait. I don't know. I'm just saying, just be prepared. So thank you. That's all I wanted to say today. And I'm going to go out and buy some water.